आज जो हमारे साथ कलाकार हैं, इन्होंने अपने हाथों और उंगलियों से छोटी छोटी हरकतें करके कहानियों को जादू में बना दिया। इन्होंने पूरी दुनिया में अपनी इस कला के जरिए और अपने पपेट्स के जरिए हमारी भारतीय संस्कृति को पहुंचाया है। हर रूह के पास एक कहानी होती है, हर सफर के पीछे एक एहसास। आइए ऐसे ही कुछ पलों के लिए हमारे साथ सोल सफर और एहसास में। Dadi ji, welcome to our show. How did you start puppets? And when was the first time you were introduced to puppets? Like choosing puppetry as your profession in that time. I mean, so many years back. It's such an unconventional subject, and choosing it as a profession. How did you think that you could make money out of it, and you can? I mean, it's. Never heard of this, people choosing puppet as a profession. So what was the first time when you were introduced to puppet, and when did you think that you can choose puppet as your profession?
And what I'm saying you will not edit, right?
No.
No, my never was in it started as a hobby 7-8 years old, where I got two toy puppets, string puppets called Pelham puppets. They come from UK, a toy company, okay. And I was given, and from there it started as a hobby. Schools encouraged it to do performances. Then went to college, and at that time Women's Council used to have these fundraisers and social
and college
things.
Was in Delhi? You went to
Pune. I'm from Pune.
You're from Pune.
So we used to do fundraising thing with music, at least string puppet shows like that. It was only after college that in Ahmedabad, 1971, when I joined NID, National Institute of Design.
All right.
That evenings I was involved and rolled for it at Darpana Academy of Performing Arts. Mehrotra was my teacher. She ran the puppet section there. So evenings were spent there. So
in
one
Darpana.
thing in Darpana with the puppet section. So there I was introduced to puppetry like this, or shadow puppets, this, that, more the traditional Indian puppets, which I didn't know about at that time. This was 1971 to 76.
And in NID, which course did you go for?
I was doing, that time it was called graphic design, and then from there you went into film. And there was no video at that time. So I remember 31st film, 5 minutes was 35 millimeter film you had to join. But now it's called visual communication. So you do print media, you do graphic design, or you do video animation like that.
So you went to NIT to do a graphic designing course, and from there you shifted over to puppetry. So did you finish your course or?
No, I didn't. In the last year of NID, we had the SITE experiment, Satellite Instructional TV experiment. This was at ISRO. Vikram Sarabhai had started Space Application Center, and India had loaned a satellite from USA, and we had ISRO's studios in Mumbai, in Bombay, Ahmedabad, and other cities, and there were, I think, 6 or 7 states which were chosen for community viewing, interior, rural areas, where educational, social awareness programs were made, beamed to the satellite to that specific place. So that is what I was. The Earth Station had the studio in Ahmedabad at Space Application Center, and that was for inside site. So that was Nadia Peach area, which was a very rich tobacco growing area, 45 kilometers outside radius from Ahmedabad. So we were involved in that project, and they wanted to start a puppet serial, and I got that letter. I was on holidays in Pune, June, and they said that it's a 1-year project. Would you like to do so? I said, yes, of course. Everybody was worried, how are you leaving a thing, this, that. The NID Dawn, as they were called, our teachers, Vikas Satwalekar and all said, look, you always wanted to do this. We'll give you leave of absence for 1 year. It's a 1-year project. So you do it. But then you either come back or I said, what happens if I don't come back? He said, that's up to you. So then one thing led to another. I never went back.
So one seat was wasted at NID.
So I finished, I think, 4.5 years at NID.
Achha, you finished that course?
Not the full course. I would have specialized in film. I didn't do that.
So are you still going to Darpana Academy?
Yes.
वहाँ क्या करते हैं आपके projects जो हैं अभी आजकल क्या चल रहा है आपका वहाँ
See,
पे?
Darpana in those days was Mrinalini Sarabhai, and after she passed away, her daughter Malika runs
Malika
it.
Sarabhai, yeah.
So she does a lot of course, theatre, dance, projects, workshops. My connection is more friendly alumni, but we perform. She calls us to perform at her festival. So every year, maybe every 2 years, we go to perform there. It's got a very beautiful space, amphitheatre, and yeah, that's what we do.
आपने बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स किए हैं अलग अलग जॉनर्स में. सबसे ज्यादा चैलेंजिंग प्रोजेक्ट जो आपके साथ रहा है?
आप जब शब्द इस्तेमाल करते हो प्रोजेक्ट मींस परफॉर्मेंसेस दैट वी मेक. हमने दिल्ली 1980 Shri Ram Center, and we started the first modern puppet repertory company in India.
अच्छा.
सूत्रधार Puppet Theatre, Shri Ram Center, पन्ना भरत राम मुजले. वहाँ से सब शुरू हुआ है दिल्ली में, and there were other groups, but it wasn't like a full-time puppet group. Our first script and one of our first puppeteers was Vinod Dua.
अच्छा.
Yeah, first 6-7 months he worked with us.
What was that project? Interesting. It sounds interesting.
That was a performance. हम हर सैटरडे संडे बेसमेंट थिएटर में शोज करते थे, फैमिली चिल्ड्रन शो. So evening Saturday, Sunday morning, and the first show which we did was called Motu Ki Mooch. Rosalind Wilson was the author of a children's magazine called Target.
अच्छा.
Okay, and उसमें एक कहानी थी, Tiger for Breakfast. It was a fun story that was dramatized, and Vinod had written the lyrics and the story, and there were people उस time Jagdish Bhatt, Puran Bhatt from Shadipur, Shushma Pandit, Pranjala Gill, Madhu, different people from different groups, both social, educational, came together. We were 5 or 6 people meeting every day, performing. वहाँ से सब शुरू हुआ ये, और 86 में जब contract खत्म हुआ, then I said enough. We did 13 productions, I think, and I started Ishara. Ishara में हर time we try to do some new project. Biggest challenge is funding. That's the biggest.
So how do you get the funds?
We don't get the funds. We do. अभी जो कोशिश करते हैं, एक बार मतलब 1 या 2 बार earlier ICCR sponsored some tour. संगीत नाटक अकेडमी used to through the shows. So shows मतलब when we do performances. दूसरा funding जो थोड़ा बहुत आता है वो event type का काम. These giant puppets we have, so they go for these events, welcome, ये वो शादी, that pays. Actual performance not so much. And अब the most challenging show आप मैं पूछ रहे हैं, तो अभी जो हम बना रहे हैं वो कोशिश कर रहे हैं बनाने, it's on the life of Amrita Shergill, the artist. So that is right now for me very challenging compared to other shows, because we knew what we can do, how to do what. इसमें कैसे चीज इनकी लाइफ के बारे में बताना, और उनके her painting, she is 28 years old when she died, 1913 to 1941. So she was one of India's first woman artists.
Yes.
Her mother was Hungarian, father was Sikh, Punjab. So
तो
that
क्या
is a
प्रोजेक्ट क्या है जो अमृता शेरगिल पे आप बना रहे हो? Would you like to talk about it?
Yeah, we can. It is an idea. हम लोग जब अमृता शेरगिल की बात करते हैं, the first thing what comes to mind is Amrita Pritam.
Amrita.
As soon as we say Amrita, everybody thinks of Amrita Pritam. So उसके बाद we are slowly gathering information. I mean, she lived a certain time. She was a very outspoken person. She lived her own life in a very, at times, unconventional way. Both artistic, sexual, all the affairs she had, abortions, and eventually she struggled also, and then she passes away very young, and it's her art is the first, her paintings are the first acquisition of NGMA.
Achha.
Yeah, Jawaharlal Nehru Pandit, the Prime Minister, he, I believe, had asked them, and that was the first acquisition of NGA when it was
At the
being
National
made.
Gallery.
National Gallery of Modern Art. But besides that, her letters that we are going through, her nephew, because she had a sister called Indira, and Indira was artist Vivan Sundaram's mother.
Achha.
So Vivan has a lot of archival letters, photographs, this, that. Many other people, Yashoda Dalmia has written a biography. Lots of people have written. Lots of good and false things also on the net. So we're going through all this and trying to see how to present this person.
It's all going to be through your puppets, or you're
And
going
actors
to
also.
and actors
Both.
also.
The last few shows have been both a balance. Some have been more actors, some have been more puppets. But we are seeing how to do the animation, projected visuals. As you saw maybe in Rumi, there was dialogues, there was
Yeah.
digital stuff, music, a lot of music, so things like that.
All right. So talking about these puppets, हम लोग जनरली जब puppets की बात करते हैं तो हम लोग को कठपुतली समझ में आता है,
हाँ.
जो ट्रेडिशनल हमारा जो काठ की पुतली जो राजस्थान की है. बट हमारे देश में, भारत में अलग अलग तरह की और भी puppets हैं, तो उसकी डिटेल्स बताइए क्या क्या है.
बहुत सारे 7-8 आई थिंक ट्रेडिशंस है, 7-8 स्टेट्स में है हमारे. क्योंकि हम दिल्ली में है तो ज़्यादा हम जानते हैं कठपुतली के बारे में, राजस्थान. और ये राजस्थान कठपुतली वाले काफ़ी घूमे भी है आइटिनरेंस. सो बट बंगाल में है, उड़ीसा में है, मणिपुर में है, महाराष्ट्र, केरला, कर्नाटका, आंध्र प्रदेश, इन सब जगह में है. और हर जगह के नाम, हर जगह में नाम
अलग है.
कठपुतली का अलग है. यहाँ हम कठपुतली बोलते हैं हिंदी में, पर ये काठ की पुतली सिर्फ राजस्थान के. टोलू बोमलतम, लेदर शैडो पपेट, डांगेर पुतुल, रॉड पपेट्स फ्रॉम बंगाल. सो all puppets in India and Southeast Asia may be named by the material, not by the technique.
अच्छा.
धागे वाली पुतुल ऐसा नहीं है. तारे पुतुल है बंगाल में, मे बी colonial influence, I do not know, but Kathputli is only string puppet, but it's not called a string puppet in it's काठ की पुतली. किसी को पता नहीं. बट अंग्रेजी में string puppet, rod puppet, glove puppet, shadow puppet, ये सब बातें.
There are different kind of puppets, like the traditional and the modern contemporary. What is the difference between all these puppets?
See, traditional puppets mostly एक generational puppet है, मतलब बाप दादा से आया है वो ट्रेडिशन. सो राजस्थानी
खानदानी puppet,
खानदानी बोलो. बट इट इज चेंजिंग. जो उन्होंने जीवित रखा है उनकी ट्रेडिशन और उनकी स्टाइल या टेक्निक. और आजकल उनके बच्चे भी नया काम कर रहे हैं, लाइक पूरन ट्रेडिशनल राजस्थानी कठपुतली, बट हिज सन्स आर डूइंग मपेट्स फॉर सेसमे स्ट्रीट, ये सब. सो दे आर आल्सो चेंजिंग, बट they keep the tradition alive. Modern necessarily is not family, though even now modern may you will have 1 or 2 generations. Maybe if somebody starts and usme they see a livelihood, they will do it, otherwise they will not. Or traditional puppets में भी ये हो रहा है कि especially middle to south India generations जो है they are everywhere, education, college, they're working in banks. And also Chidambara Rao's children, one is working in some science thing, his daughter, somebody else. They help, they work with their families, but they're doing their own work as well. So I think that is the maybe difference. Simplest way of saying is that you have a bullock cart, बैलगाड़ी, वो भी टायर पर चलती है, लकड़ी से बनी है जो भी. और आजकल जो है वो न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी, न्यू मटेरियल्स, ऑल व्हाट इज बीइंग मेड हियर.
And yours is a mix of everything.
Yes. जी, I'm not a traditional puppeteer, so my thing comes from the style of puppetry that Darpana se, my contractor, and then Michael Meshke, my teacher in Sweden, because after Ahmedabad I was in 2 years in Stockholm.
Stockholm, yes.
And वहाँ से ये the style has come, जहाँ की puppetry, his thing was कि इस बच्चों के लिए सिर्फ नहीं है. Okay, the European tradition made it the coal block, the coal war, that socialist countries, communist, that it's very good for children, which is true. But आपके सब traditional puppetry और theaters यहाँ जो show बनाते हैं, They're not just for children, they are for adults and children, mostly epics, gathas, जो भी है. Sometime in between this became a thing कि बच्चों के लिए बहुत अच्छा है, which is true. But in Meshke's thing it came कि you can use performances, plays, adults, children, mix और उनमें उन्होंने एक बताया था कि don't use puppetry as an ends in itself. मतलब बिल्कुल be all in and use it as a means to tell a story. मतलब आपके साथ डांस है, म्यूजिक है, मास्क है, ये सब चीजें करी. यहाँ भी ऐसा हो गया कि डांस इज वन, थिएटर इज दिस इज दैट, यू नो वी डिवाइड पुट बॉक्सेस में. बट इफ यू सी फोक ट्रेडिशनल थिएटर इज नॉट लाइक दैट, इट्स अ मिक्स ऑफ थिंग्स.
हमारे जितने भी दूसरे आर्ट फॉर्म्स हैं उनके रेगुलर परफॉर्मेंसेस, स्टेज परफॉर्मेंसेस होते हैं, वर्कशॉप्स, कुछ ना कुछ होता रहता है. आपकी भी वर्कशॉप्स होती है, बट पपेट्स का एज सच परफॉर्मेंस नहीं सुनने में आता. ऐसा क्यों होता है?
ये तो मुझे आपको पूछना चाहिए. You all are impresarios of art. आप दिल्ली की जो बात कर रहे हो, so 80 to 86 we had regular every weekend shows at Shri Ram Center, the repertory, Sutradhar. उसके बाद थोड़ी 1 साल 2 साल चला, फिर बंद हो गया. So ये सपोर्ट चाहिए, ऑडियंसेस है. ओके, जब हम, मैं दाखला बताता हूँ आपको, हमारा जो इशारा पपेट थिएटर फेस्टिवल, it's become more an international puppet festival. Groups from all over the world. No funding. We run the festival on trying to sell shows to schools. Tickets we sell, okay? और first से everyone said कि कोई नहीं आने वाले ticket खरीदेंगे, but we've run it for 21 years. This is
no
February,
support,
21 years, no support.
No sponsors, nothing.
22nd year will be next year. Groups are wanting to come. हम बहुत ही tight, मतलब controlled budget में ये करते हैं, और it's difficult. We can give better facilities to the artists, but and people want to come. Audiences are there. The other continuous, I would call it also like a sponsor, is the Chandigarh administration and cultural there, because har saal 8-9 saal se they take 4 shows from the festival. They take them, they buy the shows,
okay.
And so that these are the things that run the festival. What comes into a problem, if I may say, is that we try to sell the show to a school, and there is a rate that because a group has to be paid, unka per diems hai, unke rehna khana hai, infrastructure, the thing. But there are other organizations who do a show for 20,000 in a school. So the school says, why will we will get it from there? Why should we do it? This is another problem also.
तो जिस कंट्री से जो सब पपेट ग्रुप आ रहा है, पपेटियर्स आ रहे हैं, उनके कंट्री के एम्बेसीज भी नहीं स्पॉन्सर.
उनके कंट्री के एम्बेसीज, we can't do the travel, so very often like country embassies or cultural ministries give the travel. And they may be paying something to the group, they don't tell us.
And the stay and everything else.
Nothing else. That is all us. Yeah. So इस साल focus was on Italy. So the Italian Cultural Center 3 groups उन्होंने sponsor किए थे travel के लिए. Spain has done, Italy has done. What are the other countries? Each country has an Indonesia, but there's so many countries that have come. Afghanistan, Iran, sab aa gaye. We've had more than 70, 80 countries that have come.
And how about ICCR and SNA?
ICCR, right in the beginning, sponsored. Gave
but not every.
Now. Then, आजकल उन्होंने बोला ये भी, they're saying ठीक, it is not a government to government thing. It is your thing, so we can't help you there, and why can't we help? Which is fair enough, maybe there are rules, but shayad they can take shows, they can buy the shows and take them. The groups are coming, तो वहाँ से उन लोग जा सकते हैं. Groups perhaps have to give their travel, they have to pay their visas, you know, all that, but they still आना चाह रहे हैं, और word has spread about this festival, so people are wanting to come, and it's the only children of family performance festival. So the first 2 years, I think 2001 to Ford Foundation had given small grant to start the festival. And that time we had enough money to put ad in the newspaper. After that is finished, we get good press. So there is no ad, it's all weekly columns, ये वो, और उस पर full जाता है more. People wait for the shows. And there are 2-3 generations who आ गए अभी इस festival में. So ये अच्छी बात है, but
the problem is the funding.
also academies, if when I was in the general council, SNA, we used to fight. Aapka main is music, dance. Dance may be that many categories, one by one. And puppetry comes in the end as a general category for puppetry, folk arts, craft, something like that. Teen char. I said it. At least puppetry ko separate karo ke. There's so many puppeteers you will be able to give, but it's never moved from there. Or आप राजस्थान में जाओ तो उसका face of Rajasthan and any poster is Kathputli. Okay, always is a cut. But then use that and give them something more. Yeah? It is and ये भी है कि there are good traditional puppeteers and there's some okay, as in modern also. It's not that everybody is this, but COVID time में many of the traditional puppeteers are quite technologically skilled. Basic, they're using phones to make films. From Tripura, the one group, South India. So they made little in-house videos on, awareness, COVID, ye karo, mask. They made beautiful videos. Now, the state could have used it. But no, they just took it free and does it. इनको नाम मिल रहा है. So, दोनों साइड से है. Puppeteers also have to fight for it. But ये change आना ही चाहिए. दूसरे country, बहुत सारे countries में सब में मुश्किल है. ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं है. पर यहाँ हम
funding जो है दूसरी countries में भी same problem.
It is a problem. It's not easy.
Why is it so?
Any funding for any art is not easy.
Like जो music festivals होते हैं, music shows होते हैं, classical events for that matter, उन लोग को फिर भी हम देखते हैं Ministry of Culture support करता है, कई ministries support करती है. So why do you think it gets difficult for
I don't know. I really don't. Maybe our fault also. I should go and bang the door and ministry, please support our festival, do this. I have not been able to do that easily. So also आजकल your content. Okay, I will not go into details, but if the content is fitting something, as in the thing, the ministry might support it. And you will have sometimes even a okay show, but because of the content of the story, it will go through. So it keeps changing. I cannot say that it's only today, it has been there before also. But that's it. After a point, you just say, okay, karna hai, we should do it. But audience has to understand, public ministry has to understand that the artist has to live as well. Okay, some artists are privileged, I've got my own home and all, but others are not. Young people who are working with us,
they need to
the first trained, some modern puppeteers of Delhi are coming from Ishara. Pavan, Shamim, Vivek, all. And how did it come? It came through a small grant from UNESCO, non-formal education, to do training or dissemination on HIV awareness and substance abuse, but to work with the marginalized community. So there were 8 countries. This person came and I said, I don't know how it will, but your puppetry and Salam Balak Trust in Delhi, SBT.
You work with them
yes,
also.
So SBT is the first, I think 21, you can ask Vivek. The first group was coming out of 18-year-old. They want them to go out.
What was your project with Salam Balak Trust?
This HIV project.
HIV project.
And using puppetry as a means of education and training with UNESCO was very good. They said, idea is, okay, this is the message that of substance abuse, drug abuse, all that. But at the same time, train these people. We were only 5, 6, 7 people to get into civil society. Today you got one here. They won't like it. The 2 girls are training just now coming up from there. They bought their own apartments. They're married. They have children. and it's all through this puppetry. So it was a struggle, but yeah, it happened, and I think it's difficult now. Some of them, 4 or 5 of them, are full time working every evening in the Sound and Light show at the Red Fort, because it started with large puppets. The director was Royston Abel. He came to do the new show, and then they kept some of it and they've edited and doing. But the puppeteers are still working there every evening there with these big giant puppets. That became like a trademark for Ishara. आप लोग बड़े बड़े puppets बनाते हैं, giant puppets.
Larger than life.
But it's not true. We make all sorts of figures.
How do you bring emotion, human emotion, in your puppets? They're so interesting to watch.
This
it looks like a, जैसे reality में हम देख रहे हैं, एक पुतला है, उसमें एक जान आई हुई है, दुखी है, उदास है, खुश है, सारे आप human emotions कैसे उसमें लाते हैं?
I suppose that is the art form, technique. Puppet आप कैसे बनाते हो, किस टाइप का puppet technique, हाथ का puppet है, rod puppet है, वो किस किस्म की कहानी में आप use कर सकते हो इसके. It comes from that. It's also the ABCD. You train, you have to rehearse, how to do this, how to do that. जो fresh कोई आता है करने, तो it's easier. But if an actor, which is very professional, good actor, comes to work a puppet, it's not easy, because वो actor wants to use his ego. और वो अपना छिपा नहीं सकता है puppet चलाने. So we've also devised plays like Amrita Shergill or Rumi, where puppeteer is also an actor as well as a puppeteer. हीर रांझा पे हमने किया था some years ago, हीर के वारिस. So हीर के वारिस की कहानी जो थी, Mahip Singh is actually a stand-up comedian now. He wrote the script. He adapted the original 18th century script. So I said we want to do a love story. And it's a tragic love story, Romeo and Juliet here. So we looked in Heer Ranjha. Everybody knows, but they don't know. Same like Amrita Shergill. There is music, we know, but not the whole story.
Heer Ranjha bhi, then it's a love story, but...
That's it. So I said how to connect it with today. And at that time, there was Khap Panchayat, female infanticide, 2 kilometers outside Delhi. Okay, so our two main actors, girl and boy, were the present day lovers who are coming to a dargah to tie a dhaga because of their thing. And the darwish sitting there, what is true love? There's nothing like that. You are not here, you're not Ranjha. So then, ye kaun hai? And then the archetype, puppets take over. Big puppets. And the puppet then gets the girl or the boy into them to work the puppet and voice. Then they come out again. Because the girl says, look at this, my sister's diary, she wrote. And in that few days, she passed away. How did she pass away? What happened? There was this. And it goes back to the Hirka thing, poisoning. So, So we mix that with the original music, with the text. And it's a lot of critique on social standards, social land, religion, everything. Ranjha plays his flute in the angan of the mosque, and Maulvi shouts at him, and Ranjha replies to him. I told Mahib, I said, this could be sensitive. He says, but in the end, Ranjha goes to the Jogi also, and the Jogi says, you come by because you've lost. So he said, I haven't done anything. It's written in the original story. I have made it easy to understand. So that's what's going to happen in this Amrita Shergill. But how much can we say? We go to a school. Amrita did two things. One is her academic painting, which was colonial, or in Paris she learned, which was very good, but then she left all that, came to India and started. She said, I want to show the real India. I don't want to show this glorious thing. So it is all very inwards. She said, and she writes Kani. Now, in the academic painting, there are full frontal nudes. Okay? Now, I can't go to a school today and show that picture easily. Children won't have a problem. The CEOs and the thing, and these are IBM schools, इंटरनेशनल परफॉर्मेंसेस में जो आते हैं, स्पेशली ग्लव पपेट शोज, पंच एंड जूडी, उसमें बहुत सारा स्लैपस्टिक, यू नो, थड़क थड़क थड़क, ऑल दिस. Brazil से traditional glove puppet show came, and also has this Mamulengo, it's called, and the proletariat is a slave, black, who's working on the landlord farm, or jo his name is Musal, he puts all his landlords into this corn ka musal jo kehte hain na, and push them in. Now it is a traditional show. Children in Gurgaon full. But the principal, whoever said, children, did you like the show? Yes, ma'am, we love the show. But don't you think it was too violent? You know? So I said, no, but so then they wrote a letter to us, how one boy got up and said, but ma'am, this is a metaphor, this is not real. They are showing this thing through this art form. So she got even more upset. Then the puppeteer said, but this is our traditional show. When you come with your epic Ramayana or Mahabharata, half the time they're all pulling arrows and all that. So she said, no, but they grow up with it. So he said that we grow up with this. So this is the reality. You can't just show, you know, everything is nice. It's not like that. So these are challenges we are facing now. And Amrita Shergi will face. She had so many affairs. Now, how am I going to tell them? So, 3 to 4 abortions. Okay, after marriage also she had affairs, and in the end, the tragic thing is everything got gone bad, and it finished before her first show. But how are we going to speak about this? And now the challenge will be as a metaphor, how to show that this happened. But then the actor who's playing or enacting the role of her husband or Amrita will speak to the audience. That what do you think? Is this, you know? Now again we go into AI. Everybody said don't go into AI. We said if AI also collects, very simplistic, that if Amrita Shergill was alive today, if she was, how would she be seen? Because at that time, they said she's more Western, wahan thi to more Oriental. They said she would be a feminist icon because she lived her life. Because now, if you read the letters, the 300 letters, badly written, but the maturity of thought, उसमें जो कहानी लिख इसमें है, समझ जो है, which is amazing for a teenager at that time and a girl to write. Yes, she was privileged, but even so, she tells her mother is very ambitious and is getting her engaged with the Rampur guy prince who's in Paris as well. And she says, sorry, I'm not going to marry him. I don't want to. He's my good friend and all. I will only marry who I want to, and I will let you know. You were not going to tell me, because the mother was very ambitious that she should go into, well, the struggling art. She's struggling. उसमें कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है उसको. So
आजकल जैसे सब कुछ डिजिटल हो रहा है, so you think जो puppets है वो भी डिजिटल हो सकता है कुछ?
It's I don't know. There is अब ये किस तरह आप use करो. When you see a live show, definitely it's got its audience. ये चीज़ है. You see a film is there. If you can mix and do something nice with it, it's good. I'm not against it, but you know how it's being used. Everybody is on their phones, so.
Like आजकल थिएटर भी देखने जाते हैं तो everything is larger than life, you know.
Yeah, more spectacle.
हाँ, I think आजकल की जो audience है, they enjoy watching all that rather than just like जैसे पहले जैसे black box kind of a thing होता था, आपने उसी जगह पे बैठ के play देखा, but now it's इतना बड़ा हर चीज.
It's become show laser, ये
हाँ, सब कुछ इतना हो रहा है. तो you think puppet में भी ऐसा audience is looking for all that?
If we do that, the audience will love it.
But again,
I can't do that because you don't have budgets to do all that big thing, you know. The Red Fort show that they are doing is full of music and drama and fantastic lights, all that is a show, so people love it, you know. But it depends on how you go. A theatre director will do it in a certain way, a film person will do it in a certain way, and these shows which are coming on epics and all in theaters just now going house full. Huge tickets, 2,000, 3,000 rupee tickets people are buying.
More than that, in fact,
Yeah.
people are buying it. Yeah. The Katputli, like जो गांव है, which was actually vanished. So, what is उनके बारे में बताइए अभी उनका
वो
क्या
बोलते
फ्यूचर है?
हैं, नॉट ऑल ऑफ देम, वो बट पूरन कहता है कि आप सब बोल रहे हैं कि डेड आर्ट है, जर्नलिस्ट कम के, he says the art isn't died, it's the audience which has died, but the audience has died also because of both sides. They don't want to see the same show. If they see a good show, they like it. Koga Kamath, all of them, Bhaskar has done, he's edited the show, he's doing every week. I'm seeing that show kar raha hai. But then I asked somebody, they said no, the tradition there is not, the ticket, it's not ticketed, it is invited show. So the sponsor invites, does the show in the some organization, mandir mein karte hai, that's how he gets his money. He said if he has to get tickets sold, those 100, 200 people are not going to come.
वहाँ पे कितने पपेटियर्स हैं उस गांव में, कठपुतली में भी जो रहते हैं?
बहुत, नागौर में, आई डो नॉट नो एग्जैक्टली, बट दे आर ऑल ओवर. दिल्ली में है,
दिल्ली का ही जो है।
दिल्ली शादीपुर डेपो, कितने साल हो गया इन सिटू फ्लैट्स बनाने वाले हैं, ये दे सिटिंग इन दोस लिटिल क्यूबिकल्स, यू नो, it's just going on and on and on, and nothing is happening. They've been built, they haven't got the keys. Pehle they said we don't want to shift, then they said okay, each family who's registered or married or whatever, they get one small apartments. But I don't know, it's just going on and on. It's some 5, 6, 7 years now it's going. Before COVID it started. From Sheila Dixit's time, the land was sold to Rahejas or whoever, I don't know, to build this mall and this, that. They were shifted to this Anand Parbat camp. If you go there, it's horror. It's like little things, you know. And then there also there is undercutting amongst themselves. They also, that is another thing. I do not know if it is in North India ज़्यादा है, South, I do not know, but if one puppeteer says and his quality is good and he will charge so much for the show, the other one will come and say कि मैं इतने में कर दूंगा, and then there's no, audience will just see the puppet shaking. So it's a whole.
Can we see some of your demonstrations? Maybe different kind of puppets.
I don't know, this glove, the bigger. This is a small puppet. You talk about emotion.
Yeah.
Or we can do that.
The finger one?
Kapda and rubber band.
Yeah, we can do that also.
Kapda, rubber band.
And maybe the big one also.
Big one. Take your order. So okay, emotion. Yeah. So these are. It's a simple glove puppet. There's no character, neutral है, just a ball, no color. So practice how emotion you ask, उसमें जान कैसे डालनी है. He's walking, okay, no legs. How do we transfer the human movement into the puppet movement कि आपको समझ में आया? So if I do just shake it, it will be different. But if I do less is more, there is no there are no eyes. Where is it looking? यहाँ देख रहा है, यहाँ ऐसा करो तो it's different. So if करो, these are just practice, ABCD of puppetry, you know. इतना ही नीचे बिठाना है उसको, तो ऐसा करके मैं नीचे जा सकता हूँ, तो बैठा ऐसा करके. If I just do this, the illusion is broken. So these are little things that come about while working with puppets.
So how much time does it take to master this particular?
I don't know, that depends on each person.
अच्छा.
उसमें कितनी इच्छा है करने के लिए, कैसे करना. People who are good at movement, also dance, music, pick up. Come आप भी आ जाओ. So see, actually you need 3 people for this, but I will do it with 2 people. This is Vivek, who's been working with us from 2002. He said 4. And this is a puppet which 3 people normally work. It is again a neutral puppet in the sense it's got some character.
So is there any name for such a puppet?
The technique is coming from Japan called bunraku. But bunraku is many things, not just this puppet, is the music, is the text, but this thing of 3 people working comes from there.
Bunraku.
Actually, yeah. So, but here is, I'll work the puppet and we coordinate. Right now there are only 2 people, with some it will be 3 people. So I will be taking सांस ले रहा हूँ मैं, breathe कर रहा हूँ puppet. You spoke about emotion. Puppet is looking. This is not a puppet that you do this with. This is a puppet that you go slowly with. There are no eyeballs, but he's looking. He's looking there. He's talking. Okay. What else can we do? We can get up. Someone has to hold his legs, and then
So you make it fly also?
yeah, he can. Well, a puppet can do what the human being maybe cannot do. He will go up into the air. Now, these are things which are the puppet's life.
So real.
What we've kept speaking about, willing suspension of disbelief. For those 2 minutes, if it works nicely, you believe it's alive. You can see us behind the puppet, but still there is something that draws you to the puppet when it's worked properly. Okay? Like. So, yeah.
Wow. So what is this made of?
This is made from what here we call thermocol, polystyrene, styrofoam, the white packing material is carved. All our big puppets are carved from that. Uske baad upar hum laminate, papier mache and cloth and all that. Vivek, get one of the flat puppets, what we are working on. Now we are working with painting, right? Amrita shared with painting. How are we making paintings come alive, or what are we going to do? Experiment is going on of like shadow puppets, but not shadow, actual shadow. उसका वो face है जो बना है हाँ. So we are just experimenting how to do what to do. So now it's made with totally flat figure. We are seeing how can we make a flat up. ये वाला पकड़ लो, यहाँ से पकड़ लो. So only one hand, 2 hands. This one has got only one hand. So you hold this up. So we are trying to see how we can. We are working with it's rod, shadow, a mixture, but it's flat, and we will paint or we will dress it, but it's like a painting coming alive. There will be a painting maybe digitized or projected, and from there it comes alive. Something we're trying. So this will be something different.
For your Amrita Shergill's project.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So, in case anybody wants to get in touch with you for their for learning puppet, या कोई workshop आपके साथ करना चाहता है, तो कैसे आपके पास वो कैसे आएगा?
They can connect with us, but to do one person a workshop is difficult. When a group comes, you go 5.
होने चाहिए group में?
Well, 5 to 10 people, but serious. If workshops can be done for school teachers, that works very well because they want to use it in education. उसमें उसको आगे उनको दिखाई देता है कि क्या कर सकते हैं. Problem with school teachers is the principal says you do it in your free time. That is where. So if that can be organized, workshops for training school teachers to use puppetry. For instance, our new NDMC, all that in Delhi, minister, I think we should be able to approach her and to try and see how it can go into schools, MCD, NDMC school. Believe me, when we were doing the times have changed, but when we were doing the HIV performances, there were 15-20 minute shows, but it was on awareness, it was on safety, it was on mother to child, contraception and all. So it was difficult at that time, 2020, that's the time when they came in, to do it in the fancy private schools. If we could get into the government schools, which we did, because some people, they were much more open, and there were much more questions that were asked afterwards, because NGOs or the counselor would then take over. We were catalysts. हम ये बोल रहे, उसके बाद questions they will answer. They were much far more, you know, I don't know what to say.
वहाँ पे वो दो बच्चे काम कर रहे हैं, ये सीखने आए या
हाँ,
इनसे भी हम बात कर सकते हैं?
जी।
क्या कर रहे हो, ये क्या बना रहे हो?
मैम हम पपेट बना रहे हैं।
इसको क्या बोलते हैं?
मैम मपेट बोलते हैं।
अच्छा, मपेट। तो ये किसके लिए कर रहे हो?
मैम हम यहाँ सीखने आए हैं, तो हमने कई सारे पपेट अभी तक बना रखे हैं। सो हम न्यू ट्राई कर रहे हैं, इसको कहते हैं मपेट। एक गिली गिली शिमशिम है, उस शो में जो पपेट होते हैं हम वो बना रहे हैं।
अच्छा,
मतलब एक बोलने वाला पपेट है। रिपब्लिक डे में भी शो किया था।
किसके साथ किया?
मैम कर्तव्य पथ पे हुआ था, तो 26 रिपब्लिक डे हुआ था, तो वहाँ पे हमें पपेट्स लेके डांस करना था।
सर के साथ किया था आपने?
नो मैम।
अच्छा, किसी और के साथ
हाँ जी,
किया था। तो वहाँ से, तो यहाँ के बारे में कैसे पता लगा आपको?
मुझे मतलब जिस हॉस्टल में मैं रहती हूँ, तो जो मेरी वहाँ पर मैम है जो कोऑर्डिनेटर, तो मुझे उनने बताया।
कहाँ पे रहते हो?
मैं दिलसाद गार्डन साइड रहती हूँ।
क्या आप कर रहे हो अभी? पढ़ाई कर रहे हो?
मैं
क्या?
यहाँ पे अभी पढ़ाई कर रही हूँ।
अच्छा, सर ने बताया आपको स्कल्पचर में बहुत इंटरेस्ट
हाँ,
है।
पहले मैं करती थी। पहले मैं इसका काम क्लास करती थी, जिसमें मतलब बड़े बड़े बाउल्स बनाना, केटल्स बनाना, तो मैं ये सब सीखती थी।
कैसे इंटरेस्ट आया? कहीं से आपने सुना, देखा?
हाँ, मतलब मैम ने बताया था कि, मतलब मैम ने कहा था कि मैम ने पपेट के बारे में बताया था कि यहाँ पर जाके देख, तुझे कैसा लगेगा। तो मैम ने ये बोला था कि 3-4 दिन करके देख, तुझे इंटरेस्ट आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा। तो मैं मतलब यहाँ पर आई थी, तो
अभी स्कल्पचर का जो स्कल्पचर कोर्स कर रहे हो, वो कहाँ से कर रहे हो? वो भी सीखने जाते हो?
हाँ,
कहीं पे कहाँ जाते हो?
नहीं मैम, अभी तो अभी लगी नहीं, मेरी क्लास में भी लगेगी।
और मजा आ रहा है यहाँ पे
हाँ,
आप लोग को? और कंटिन्यू करोगे ना? छोड़ोगे तो नहीं बीच में? बहुत अच्छा लगा, और इसे करते रहो। हमारी ये भारतीय परंपरा, हमारी ये जो सब हमारा हेरिटेज है, कल्चर है, इसको आप जैसे ही लोग, जो आप लोग जो बच्चे हो, यही लोग बना के अगर इसको बचा के रखेंगे तभी बच पाएगा ये।
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू बेटा, थैंक यू। सो आपने इशारा पपेट थिएटर, इशारा पपेट फेस्टिवल की बात की। What is it actually? How can people get connected to this in case they want to come and work for this?
For the festival.
For the festival, yeah.
See, this is the brochure of the 15th festival. इस साल it was the 21st festival. 21 साल के हम लोगों ने ये festival, and each year a brochure like this comes out. The festival is more international festival. When it started, it was more Indian groups and a few foreign groups. Now it's become mostly, of course, Ishara puts in its new show. Then it depends on किस type का show can sell. It is true, because आप बोल रहे हो ना, sponsorship बिना कर रहे हो, तो tickets पे जीता है. So we have to get, there are very good shows in India, but some of them are not possible to sell. Okay, people here mindset बाहर से कुछ आ रहा है is low. So ये पहले भी शुरू हुआ, but अब वो भी change हो गया है कि people are very discerning now, audiences. They know what they want to see or they don't. So we've educated audiences in Delhi with this puppet festival. Okay, what is there to see, how you can see things like that.
Is there, do you have an email ID? Or
Yes,
you have
there
a
is an
page?
email ID, dadipud@gmail.com. Our site for some time has been getting renewed, so that is there, but it is there, and the Facebook page isharapuppets.com is there.
Okay, so generally इशारा थिएटर, पपेट थिएटर जो होता है, जनरल पब्लिक को सबको नहीं पता लग पाता, तो कैसे आप लोग कहाँ इसको एडवर्टाइज करते हैं?
यही तो है, the press, we get good press. The PR organization is there. Mostly it is online. Things are going to schools. Digital stuff is going out. Promo is made during the festival. Little clips of groups that are coming. That's it.
So in case anybody would like to volunteer for this, they can get connected to you,
Yeah, sure.
and through your Facebook page or your your email?
Volunteer for what? During
the festival,
during,
in case they want to come and.
there are many people who want to volunteer because they'll see free performances. That is one thing. So that, okay, if there is some art student,
Maybe later they can get connected to you and they would like to come and learn from you.
Sure. We would encourage people to make something for the outdoor part of the festival. Last year, the IIED students made installations because our festival is at amphitheater and habitat. But as you come in, there's a lot of space. They made installations connected with 20 years, the colors of the countries, like that. So if there are people who want to do things like that,
so volunteers coming, watching for free, and साथ साथ उनको अगर आप कुछ homework भी देंगे,
sure, so, that will be good.
That will be good. They get to work.
आप जो बोल रहे हो ना, तो अब देखो दिल्ली में puppeteers है, traditional puppeteers. Hardly any of them come. हमें क्यों नहीं बुलाते? I said, आप आइए, and they will get free entry. But if it's full, you have to stand and see the show. Fair enough. They don't show interest to come. If you give us transport, if you give us this, माहौल ऐसा बदल गया है. I think I cannot blame it because it's expense. But if you are one or two of them who are thinking कि हमें कुछ नया बनाना है, कुछ करना है, they will come and see because यहाँ there's no schools or education in puppetry. तो आप आके देखोगे अलग-अलग.
There'll be so much to learn from different parts of
just the like looking at things and people who come and use materials, how they do production, how a light's used, how a sound, things. There's so much that can happen. But the benefit always comes to the urban colleges and students. It should come also to the traditional puppeteers, the young people. But how to get them? This is the mindset has to be there कि आप आके कुछ देखोगे. So that is what now वो इच्छा अपनी होती है. There is no, you can't force.
Thank you so much, Dadi ji, for everything, for giving us so much information about एक पुतले में कैसे जान डाल सकते हो. वो आपने हमें दिखाया कैसे उसमें जान आती है. And thank you for everything, and thank you to Vivek and those two little girls who are working so hard. And namaste.
Thank you.
कभी कभी बिना कुछ कहे बहुत कुछ कह दिया जाता है. दादी पदम जी की कला कुछ ऐसी ही है, नज़ाकत और एहसास से बुनी हुई और सजी हुई. हमने प्रियंका और खुशी से बात की. ये लोग यहाँ पे दादी जी के साथ पपेट सीख रहे हैं और यही हमारी आज की युवा पीढ़ी जो हमारे कल्चर को, हमारे हेरिटेज को आगे बढ़ाने की कोशिश करेंगे. ये बच्चे अगर लगे रहेंगे तो यही है जो आगे बढ़ के हमारे कल्चर को बचा सकते हैं. अगर आप सीखना चाहते हैं तो ज़रूर ज्वाइन करिए, दादी जी से कनेक्ट करिए, कांटेक्ट करिए और आप भी आइए. और हमारी जो एक ऐसी कला है जो बहुत पब्लिक में नहीं आ रही है, इसको प्लीज़ आप लोग बचा सकते हैं, हम बचा सकते हैं. अगली बार आप कोई भी पपेट थिएटर देखने जाएं तो याद रखिएगा एक पपेटियर कैसे अपने हाथों और उंगलियों से छोटी छोटी सी हरकतें करके एक पुतले में जान डाल देता है. अगले हफ्ते हम फिर मिलेंगे एक नई कहानी के साथ, एक नए मेहमान के साथ, एक नए सोल सफ़र और एहसास के साथ. अपना ख्याल ज़रूर रखिएगा और हाँ, हमारे चैनल को लाइक, सब्सक्राइब और शेयर करना तो एकदम नहीं भूलेगा. कोई सवाल हो आपको, पपेट से रिलेटेड कोई सवाल हो तो ज़रूर लिखिएगा, हम आपके सवालों का जवाब ज़रूर देंगे. नमस्ते.